this episode, we're going to do something just a little bit different. We're going to load up and head up to Canada. That's right, we're going up to Ontario for a fishing trip. We're going to get onto a float plane and head up to a lake where we'll have the cabin and the whole lake to ourselves. So every year I go up there with Jacob and my good friend Kyle and his son Cameron. And this year we have a new guy up there, and his name is Derek, and he brought his son Bo. So we leave pretty early in the morning, got to head all the way through, from central Wisconsin all the way up to International Falls. On our trip up there, it takes a good 7-8 hours to get to International Falls, and once we get to the border, it takes, another 2.5 hours past that. This year we're doing something just a little bit different. Generally, when we would go up there, we would cross the border on a weekday, and this time we're doing it on a weekend. So we ended up running into just a little bit of a traffic jam on the way across. We have not experienced that in years past, but we made it through within a half hour. So once we got going, it was clear sailing all the way up to Vermilion Bay, where we would be staying at Casey's Landing. So that's one of the drive-in resorts that Clark's owns, and we were able to get a hold of a cabin for the night. So you go up there, you stay the night before, and in the morning you're gonna fly it. So this is what we do every year. We get up there early, we get all our supplies together, get ready to go early in the morning. We travel up there. We have to stop and do just a little bit of sightseeing. There's some really cool rapids and kind of waterfalls and stuff. And after that, we go up there and we get everything ready to go on to the plane. So everything that we bring up has to go onto a cart. It gets weighed before it goes on the plane, and they actually weigh all of us together too, so they know exactly what's going on. But follow along as we go all the way up 100 miles past this, way up into Ontario to Dobie Lake. It's gonna be great. We made it out to Clark's. We're at the main camp. Just a great facility. You stay right here and go fishing. They fly you out, go fishing. They got other camps. The float plane, it sits on 2 pontoons. The thing just, cruises through the water until you get going fast enough. And as you see, it's like a huge pontoon boat with wings. Once you get going, you take off, and then we're in the air for over an hour. It's over 100 miles to get to the cabin and the lake that we're going. And the fun part of using a float plane, on those pontoons is the landings and the takeoffs. They're different than anything that you've ever experienced on land. It's actually pretty smooth. It's a fun time. But once we get there, now it's time to unload. So we have all this gear, everything that we need for the week. So part of the things that we're going to need for the, our stay, we're there for 7 days. So we're going to need enough food. So what happened is we're there for 6 nights. So I took 2 nights of cooking, Kyle took 2 nights of cooking, Derek took 2 nights of cooking. So we had to bring all that food up, plus provisions for lunch and for breakfast. So what we do is we kind of split everything up, but we had all that gear to unload and, get to camp. And one of the biggest things that you're gonna bring up there is your fishing gear. So once you get all that, everything unloaded, you put your fishing gear in your boat, get that thing all decked up. We actually all had graphs with. I just use a basic ice fishing unit, and I got a different transducer for it. Every 2 days, the pilot will come back and he'll bring more minnows and more ice. So you're never without bait and you're ready to go. All right, now that everything's unloaded, it's time to go out fishing. So I got a picture of Jacob with his first fish, and here we go.
Was that just off the rocks, Jacob?
Oh yeah, right off of probably 8-9 foot of water out here. Not too deep out here, but a lot of rock bottom. Then changes into, you know, weed and muck. But got another one for dinner. But he's going down to see his friends now. Here, I'll pull it up so you guys can see.
You got the fish?
Got a good bucket of fish.
All right, pour it.
Ready to fillet them up? Ooh, looks tasty already. Let's get to filleting. Got my new gift here. It's an electric bobbin knife. It's cordless too.
You have to see how it works.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
That's the sign says right there.
So after we get done cleaning up all the fish, we have to get rid of, all the fish guts. So what you do there is you're not going to throw them out at your camp. There's too many bears around. There's too many other critters running around that you don't want to bait them in. So they have this island and they tell you this is where you dump your fish and all your fish guts when you're done cleaning your fish. The fun part of it is every lake seems to have a handful of gulls living on it, and those gulls are fun to watch. Boy, they're feisty. They really like to eat all that. Every camp has a journal that people write in, to discuss what happened during their time out there. And the one fun part of it is someone did write a little entry on how they watched a bear swim out to Fish Gut Island and grab what he wanted to eat before leaving.
Getting hungry?
So one morning we got up and decided we were gonna have some breakfast, so ended up picking some blueberries. We made some blueberry pancakes. They turned out delicious. Wild blueberries are just so good to eat, and everybody loved it.
All wolves have blueberries in them.
What's that?
All wolves have blueberries
Okay.
in them.
I mean, I'm okay with blueberries, I just.
Now that we got breakfast done, it's time to get back after it, get out fishing. So we even did a little adventure where we went way back in where a river was.
Well, this is one of the rivers that flows into our lake. Just wondering if we can get out anywhere and take a walk. Well, here we are, up in Canada. Found the river that feeds this big lake. What do you think of this, Jakers?
Oh, it's beautiful up here. I don't think you could ask for anything more.
Kind of waiting for a moose to pop out or something. Yeah, it'd be fun to get back past that, but water's just a little bit too low right now.
He's just like us searching for walleye.
Boy, is that a long beach. Got one more over there we're gonna go check out.
One thing that Jacob and I really enjoy doing when we go to these remote lakes where we're the only cabin out there is we like to explore. We like to go see everything. And the one neat thing about this particular lake is there was actually sand beaches on.
Walking the beach and come into this little drainage creek that comes in here. Got caribou tracks running down. Had moose tracks back there. Pretty neat stuff.
Oh, northern. Get off there.
What they got there, bud?
Walleye.
On the top. What'd you catch them on, Jakers?
Caught him on a. I think this is a flicker shad. It's got like the scent stuff on it, the gulp.
Boy, did we catch a lot of fish on this trip. Lots of fish. On the last day, we decided we were going to take a trip to the very north end of the lake and had a lot of fog running on us.
It's about 7 o'clock in the morning now. Sun's been up for a while. We're way in the back of a bay, catching walleyes like crazy. But the fog rolled in like crazy too. It is getting to be pretty foggy and getting worse. Catch a fish, Jacob.
Just missed one.
Just missed one.
They're sitting in the lilies like a bluegill.
No, you didn't.
Pretty nice little setup here at camp. This is where the float plane comes in, so tomorrow they'll be in. We'll have to put the boats off to the side, but yeah, nice place.
After supper on the very last day, we had a few food scraps from what we had cooked up that night for dinner. We decided we'd throw them out on the dock, and those gulls came up there and just, well, they were funny to watch, just fighting over everything that we had on
They're
there.
everywhere.
Now I'm just going to run you through the cabin real quick and show you what the accommodations were. So as you enter the cabin, as you go to your left, you go into the first bedroom. There's a set of bunk beds in there and one single bed. Plenty of room to stay. So that's about a 12 by 12. The next one is another 12 by 12. There's a handful of beds in there too. Plenty adequate. The whole cabin is probably, I'm guessing, 24 by 48. There's actually a shower in there. You can see the water heater. That's all run off electric off of the generator. As we go up into the living area, you can see there's plenty of room, to sit, talk, and enjoy. The kitchen area is where everybody gathered mostly. At nights, we would play cards and shake dice. But plenty of meals were made, 2 fridges, 2 stoves. It was very easy to get along and make your meals every night. Then we go into the last bedroom, which is huge, it's 12 by 24. There's enough beds in there to sleep 7. It was just a monster room, but yeah, very nice cabin. We really enjoyed staying in there. As you go outside, you're gonna notice there's a couple of gas grills. They run a lot of things off of propane there, but very nice, adequate deck. We did our fish fries there. As we walked along to the backside, we went by the generator. And you're gonna see there's an outhouse. There's actually another outhouse on the other side of the building too. Now this is the sad part. You hear the float plane coming in and it's time to go. We gotta load up and leave. They actually brought 2 in this time. They couldn't send the big plane, they sent 2 planes. So there's a smaller one that grabbed a bunch of our gear. You'll see there was just a little bit of gear left here. that wouldn't fit in the really small float plane, and then we would all get into this one plus what we had left on the dock here. I just have to say that this lake was, it was great. I mean, there was so much room, so many fish. If I would have filmed everything that we caught there, I mean, we'd be here for hours. I mean, we caught hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of walleye in northern. Plenty of time with just, my son and I sitting in a boat talking. The views are beautiful. The sunrises were awesome. We had a full moon out there at night, so it was bright out there at night. The moose tracks, you see all kinds of stuff. A couple of guys even seen a black wolf running on those beaches that were, previously shown that we were walking on. We caught so many fish, had so much fun out there. The first day was a little smoky, but after that, the wind changed. It was clear out, clear as a whistle. The biggest fish caught out there was just about 24 inches. For a walleye, we do a big fish contest every year for who catches the biggest walleye. But the main thing is spending time with your family and enjoying each other and your conversation. And I have to say, thank you to Clark's. They're so good at putting everything together for you. And, so long from the crew until next year. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next episode at PBR Acres.